What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and today we're going to be talking about a bunch of different micro 9s that all started from the OG, the original 6-hour P365. Whether you hate them, whether you love them, you got to give them some respect for being first on the technology, right? Basically what that was making double or stack and a half magazines in firearms as thin as single stack magazines, therefore adding 4, 5, 6 rounds compared to the original size magazine on single stacks. Therefore, really driving up the hype behind the market of small firearms, very easy to conceal, very easy to carry, but have plenty of rounds to defend yourself. But before we get started, hit the like button, drop a comment down below, tell me what you carry today, tell me what kind of ammo, what kind of holster, and subscribe. I know you guys probably won't, but if you're hearing this, please do it. Now, things I like about the Sig P365, sorry, a little bit of a tongue twister. One, the speed of the trigger. The triggers are phenomenal on the SIGs. I don't know what it is, it just is. I've just had one bad experience with the SIG, which is my SIG right here. But with this thing right here, nothing wrong with it. It does have the manual safety, which it is what it is. This was bought to be more of a training pistol for people I go shooting with and stuff like that, so that ended up serving its purpose. But serrations are good, optics plate's fine, the sights are great, the ergonomics are good, the texturing's good. I just like mine to be a little thicker, so Wesson Combat Grip Module or this definitely makes it feel better. But what can I say? Other than unreliability issues that I've had with them, they're great shooters. This is actually my favorite variant of the Sig P365, this with the X grip and the X trigger, and it's super ergonomic, very easy, natural point of aim, 3-dot night sights that are always glowing, and once again, other than that, the same exact firearm, so two great firearms. Next up, the Taurus GX4, and yes, this thing's a little beat up, and I've barely even carried it, but I have multiple Tauruses, multiple Taurus GX4s as that. These, when I first felt it, I said in my head, this is the most ergonomic micro 9 out there, and I'm still right to this day. This thing is so ergonomic. Don't waste your money on this backstrap, though. It's not worth it. It's like an $80 backstrap. It's not worth it. Use the originals that it comes with. Flush 11-round mag, good texturing all over the firearm, amazing defensive trigger, great slide serrations, Glock. It takes Glock sights, very nice sights. So, you know, for what it is and the price, you can't beat a Taurus GX4. They're just great firearms. And as long as yours wasn't on the drop list or had issues like mine did, then you guys are good to go. I absolutely love that firearm, believe it or not. FN Reflex. Just shot this thing today as well. So far, I really like the thing. I like the ergonomics behind it. I like the natural point of aim. I like the sights, even though my sights were a little bit off. I do like the trigger, but the trigger took a little Sorry, I had to get used to the trigger is what I was trying to say. But overall, I love this thing. It's fast. I mean, if you learn this trigger, it is a fast shooter. It's going to be reliable. It's going to eat everything. I just got the FDE version, which my finish isn't the greatest, but the black one that I saw at the range tends to be flawless, so not too worried about it. Springfield Armory Hellcat, my favorite. You can take 17-round mags and throw it in there. Magazines compatible to Springfield Armory Hellcat Pro. You can take the Hellcat Pro slide and throw it up on this for, you know, a long slide Hellcat Pro OG, and you can still have the 11-round mag in there, or you could throw the 17-round mag in there. It's unbelievable. Once again, similar to the Glock 26, very compatible with its larger brothers and sisters, but just good everyday carry trigger right out of the box. A nice rail to mount the TLR 7A sub to. A great finish. It takes a beating. Doesn't look terrible or anything like that. My Ruger Ready Dot co-witnesses with those amazing sights that come right out of the box from Springfield Armory. Like I said, super ergonomic, and if you get the gear package, how can you beat it? Next up, let's go to the Glock 43X. I think this is one of the most ergonomic micro 9s as well. It is just harder for me to conceal and be comfortable with while carrying. But I'm very accurate with this firearm. I've gotten really good with it over the last couple months. 10-round capacity doesn't bother me. But at the range, I still use Shield Arms mags and PSA Dagger mags. But if I were to carry this, it'd be all OEM mags, because this thing's been 100% reliable. I love it. Maybe now that times are getting a little colder, I'm putting on jackets, sweatshirts, stuff like that, maybe I will go back to this. But I love the ergonomics. I love the Glock reliability. Yes, this doesn't have a rail, and I had to put an aftermarket slide on it, but they're just great shooters. Glock 43X are one of the best shooters in its class. Smith & Wesson CSX. This is one of those firearms that people hated on non-stop, right? They said the trigger wasn't good enough. This is coming from a bunch of trigger snobs and other stuff like that. Guys, I can mag dump this, full mag, 12+1, in 2 seconds. The video's up on my channel. But anyways, super ergonomic in the hand, made really well, real good quality. Like I said, the ergonomics are on point. The shootability is there. It's the Micro 9 with the least recoil out of any body. I kid you not. And it's one of the smallest. So Smith & Wesson CSX, stay in there, hang in there. I love this firearm so much. It's going nowhere. Canik Meta MC9. Things I like about it. I like the heavier slide to help with recoil. I love the trigger. I love that it has a rail. The ergonomics are pretty on point. Could use a little more texturing, but overall I'd say the texturing is pretty good. Came with good sights right out of the box. Just a good overall flat, smooth shooting pistol. They did a great job. They knocked it out the park. Iwi Masada Slim. Just got done shooting this today. I love this thing. It took me a while to figure out the trigger, but serrations are on point. The overall, finish of the slide on point. The sights are actually pretty decent sights. They took me a little while to get used to, but decent sights. Great texturing all along the frame. It reminds me of more of a Glock 43X / Bursa BP9C mixture. That's sort of what it reminded me of. But that trigger, that's where it all comes down to. That trigger is so easy to shoot, so predictable, no reset. Therefore, no false movements in your body while shooting it. This thing is moving up on the list. Just got to find some good holster options. And the Shield Plus. How could I forget about you? The Shield Plus is just one of those firearms that stays sort of like hidden a lot of the times because of all these other, specialty firearms and ported and, all that. But the Shield Plus, just a simple Shield Plus from the store for $375. It doesn't get much better than that. You got capacity, 13+1 in this setup. If you need a manual safety, you got one. A nice flat face defensive trigger. Great serrations. One of the best parts about Smith & Wesson's though, that slide. That slide is not going to destroy over time. It may take a beating, but it's not going to rust. It's not going to just turn to crap. This is just the best shooting Micro 9 out there, as well as the Hellcat in my opinion. Also the Masada Slim. And I'm starting to really get down with the FN Reflex. But also the CSX shoots really well, and the 43X shoots really well. So they're all good shooters. It's all about personal preference at the end of the day. Hand size, how you shoot, your grip, what firearm brand are you loyal to, what is giving you the feeling of I will be there for you to defend your life in the past. So those are all decisions you guys got to decide to make. But for me, my Hellcats are huge firearms in my life. If you know me, I really love my Hellcats. I really am ride or die for my Hellcats, just like my Glock 26s. But also, as the weather gets bigger and stuff, and I need to start training with some of these firearms more, I'm going to be pulling out that Hellcat more, or that Reflex more, and also the Iwi Masada, because I need to put some more rounds through this thing, because this baby right here, it's on point. It's very accurate. It's just when you go from shooting a bunch of different firearms that are all made so differently, like think about the trigger on the FN Reflex, then think about the Masada trigger, then come over here and think about the Shield trigger. Now think about the Canik trigger. Now come all the way back here and think about the Hellcat trigger. Imagine shooting one round from each of those 6 firearms in a row. Think about how different that would be. It would just be weird because every one of those triggers was so different. So I've got to really focus on just a couple firearms here, which I think it's always going to be my main carry and my work carry. But on top of that, I may bring 2, 3, 4 others that I'm reviewing for the channels with me, just so I can get really good and used to those firearms for the time being. But if you're still here, appreciate you watching. Thanks.